Life today feels like a never-ending race, doesn't it? With deadlines at work, the constant ping of notifications, and the pressure to always be one step ahead, stress and overwhelm have become our everyday companions. It's easy to feel like life is spinning out of control, leaving you drained, distracted, and disconnected. But what if I told you there's a way to cut through the chaos, to find calm in the middle of the storm? Stoicism, a 2,000-year-old philosophy, is not just ancient wisdom tucked away in dusty books. It's a toolkit for modern life, offering powerful strategies to help you navigate challenges, stay grounded, and build a more resilient mindset. And here's the kicker: you've probably heard of the big ideas like staying calm under pressure or focusing only on what you can control. But Stoicism holds secrets, deeper principles that rarely get talked about. In this video, we're diving into 15 hidden Stoic principles that you've likely never heard before. These aren't just abstract concepts, they're practical, actionable ideas that can transform how you approach life. So if you're ready to trade stress for clarity, distractions for focus, and emotional overwhelm for inner peace, stay with me. By the end of this video, you'll have a powerful new perspective on how to live with purpose, strength, and serenity, even in the middle of life's messiness. Let's get started. Now turning to the first principle, Amor Fati, or as it translates, love of fate. This is not just about accepting what happens in life, but fully embracing it as necessary, as something meant for you. Imagine seeing every event, whether it brings joy or hardship, not as random occurrences but as key threads in the tapestry of your existence. Marcus Aurelius, one of Stoicism's greatest thinkers, wrote extensively about this idea in his Meditations, reminding us that what happens to us is shaped by nature and is part of a greater plan. By loving your fate, you build resilience because you stop fighting against what is and instead align yourself with it. Let's break this down into practical terms. Say you face an unexpected setback at work, a missed promotion, or a difficult project. By applying Amor Fati, you can view this challenge as an opportunity to grow, to learn skills, or to build character. Instead of spiraling into frustration or self-doubt, shift your mindset and ask, what can I gain from this experience? Another way to practice this principle is by reframing daily inconveniences. Stuck in traffic, use that time as a moment for reflection or mindfulness rather than frustration. Lost an opportunity, perhaps it clears the path for something better suited to you. This doesn't mean pretending everything is perfect. It's about understanding that even the storms we face have value. Remember, life isn't happening to you, it's happening for you. By embracing this mindset, you cultivate peace and strength even when life throws curveballs. Moving forward, let's explore how Amor Fati fits into the complexities of modern life. Consider the case of losing a job, an experience that can feel disheartening and overwhelming. At first glance, it may seem purely negative, but through the lens of Amor Fati, this moment could be viewed differently. Perhaps losing that job nudges you toward a career better aligned with your passions, or offers the chance to develop skills you hadn't focused on before. Shifting your perspective in this way doesn't erase the difficulty, but it frames the experience as part of a larger journey. Or take relationship challenges. When a friendship or romantic connection ends, rather than clinging to what could have been, Amor Fati encourages you to see how this shift might pave the way for personal growth or healthier relationships in the future. Even unexpected life changes, like relocating to a new city or facing a health scare, can be reimagined as opportunities to adapt, learn, and ultimately flourish in ways you might not have anticipated. History is full of examples of individuals embodying this principle. Think of Thomas Edison, who faced numerous failures before inventing the light bulb. Instead of lamenting each setback, he famously saw them as steps leading closer to success. Similarly, Oprah Winfrey's early career struggles didn't deter her. They became the foundation of her resilience and eventual triumph. These examples remind us that hardship can be a hidden catalyst for transformation. To integrate Amor Fati into your life, try this practical exercise. Begin keeping a journal specifically for challenges you encounter. When faced with a difficulty, write down your initial emotions and then challenge yourself to find at least one silver lining or potential lesson in the situation. Over time, this practice can train your mind to instinctively see adversity through a constructive lens. Another way is to deliberately reflect each day on something that didn't go as planned and explore how it might serve a larger purpose. With consistency, you'll notice a shift in how you perceive challenges not as barriers but as stepping stones. Remember, Amor Fati is not about ignoring pain or difficulty. It's about embracing the totality of life, knowing that every high and low is part of your unique path. This mindset empowers you to navigate life's unpredictability with grace and strength, transforming even the hardest moments into opportunities for growth. Now turning to the next profound Stoic principle, Sympatheia, we encounter the idea of interconnectedness, a potent reminder that we are not isolated individuals but integral parts of a greater whole. At its core, Sympatheia underscores the shared humanity that binds us all, fostering a deeper sense of compassion and cooperation. The Stoics believed that by understanding our connection to others and the universe at large, we can cultivate empathy and reduce feelings of alienation. Marcus Aurelius beautifully encapsulated this concept when he wrote, "We are all woven together in the fabric of existence." This principle invites us to broaden our perspective, to see beyond our personal struggles, and to recognize how our actions and experiences ripple through the lives of others. Imagine encountering a moment of conflict, a disagreement with a colleague, for instance. Through the lens of Sympatheia, rather than reacting with frustration, you step back to consider their point of view, their challenges, and the shared goal you both might be striving toward. This approach doesn't just dissolve tension, it builds a bridge of understanding. Similarly, in a community setting, volunteering or engaging in group activities can serve as practical demonstrations of Sympatheia. When you contribute to the wellness of others, you reinforce the invisible threads that connect us all, reminding yourself and others of the strength found in solidarity. Stoic texts are rich with examples that illustrate this principle in action. Seneca, for instance, often emphasized the human duty to assist and uplift those around us, seeing this as a natural extension of our shared existence. Visualizing this interconnectedness can also be profoundly grounding. Picture the ecosystem of a forest, each tree, plant, and creature thriving because of their interdependence. In much the same way, our lives are intertwined, with each interaction shaping the whole. To internalize Sympatheia in daily life, try this: cultivate the habit of active listening. When engaged in a conversation, especially with differing opinions, focus entirely on understanding the other person's perspective without immediate judgment. Another helpful exercise is reflecting on how your daily choices impact not just yourself but those around you, the larger community, and even the environment. By consistently practicing these habits, you begin to experience a quiet but profound transformation in how you view relationships and society. Sympatheia teaches us that compassion is not just a virtue but a necessity for personal and collective harmony, inviting us to embrace the beautiful complexity of our shared human experience. Moving forward, let's delve deeper into how the principle of Sympatheia can actively address the challenges of modern life, particularly isolation and division. In today's fast-paced world, it's easy to feel disconnected from our neighbors, our communities, and even ourselves. The rise of digital communication, while convenient, often replaces genuine human interaction with fleeting, surface-level exchanges. This is where Sympatheia serves as a powerful antidote, reminding us to reconnect with the humanity around us and the larger network of life we are part of. One practical way to foster this sense of interconnectedness is through volunteering. Imagine dedicating a few hours a week to a cause you care about, such as helping at a local shelter or participating in an environmental cleanup. Not only does this create tangible benefits for others, but it also nurtures a profound sense of belonging and purpose within yourself. Another strategy is to consciously practice active listening in your interactions. The next time you engage in a conversation, make it a point to fully focus on the other person, setting aside distractions like your phone or inner thoughts about what you'll say next. This simple act of attentiveness can bridge gaps, deepen relationships, and remind you of the shared experience of being heard and understood. Take, for example, historical movements that champion compassion and collective action. Consider the civil rights movement, a time when individuals from diverse backgrounds united under a shared goal of equality. Their success wasn't born of isolated efforts. It was the result of interconnectedness, where every voice and action contributed to a larger cause. On a more personal level, think about a time when someone extended kindness or empathy to you during a difficult moment. It's likely that their gesture left an indelible mark, reinforcing the value of human connection. Reflecting on these examples can be a powerful motivator to cultivate sympatheia in your own life. You might also explore community-building activities like organizing neighborhood events or even something as simple as checking in on a friend or family member you haven't spoken to in a while. These small actions have a ripple effect, spreading positivity and reinforcing the networks that bind us together. In practicing sympatheia, you'll find that compassion not only heals division, but also empowers you to see yourself as an integral piece of something far greater. By leaning into this principle, you align with the Stoic belief that our individual well-being is deeply tied to the well-being of the collective, encouraging a more harmonious and connected existence for all. Now turning to the next principle, let's explore Premeditatio Malorum, which translates to the premeditation of evils. At first glance, this might sound grim, but in reality, it's a deeply empowering Stoic practice. The idea here is not to dwell on negativity, but to mentally rehearse potential difficulties before they arise. This preparatory mindset can significantly reduce anxiety and help you remain composed in the face of adversity. Seneca, a renowned Stoic thinker, wrote extensively on this principle, encouraging individuals to anticipate challenges as a way to fortify their resilience. By imagining the worst-case scenarios in a controlled and thoughtful manner, you're not succumbing to fear, but instead training your mind to navigate life's uncertainties with grace and preparedness. Think of it as a mental exercise. Visualizing obstacles allows you to approach them more calmly when they occur. For instance, consider planning a big presentation at work. As part of practicing Premeditatio Malorum, you might envision scenarios where the projector fails, tough questions arise, or you forget a key point. By doing this, you can develop backup plans, rehearse your responses, and even create notes to support your confidence. This technique enables you to reframe potential failures into manageable events rather than overwhelming disasters. Another example could be preparing for a financial setback. If you've already thought through how you would adjust your lifestyle, prioritize spending, and seek assistance, you're less likely to panic if that situation becomes a reality. This principle doesn't advocate for living in a constant state of worry, but rather for facing life's uncertainties with clarity and control. It's about building inner strength and ensuring that no outcome catches you completely off guard. By integrating Premeditatio Malorum into your mindset, you develop not just preparedness, but also a deeper appreciation for the things that are going well in your life. The contrast between imagining what could go wrong and living in the present helps you cherish what you already have, fostering both gratitude and resilience. In essence, this practice equips you with a calmer, more centered approach to life's inevitable twists and turns while strengthening your ability to face them head-on. Moving forward, let's dive deeper into practical ways to incorporate Premeditatio Malorum into your daily life. One effective exercise is to actively envision worst-case scenarios before significant decisions or events. For example, if you are preparing for a job interview, imagine arriving late due to unexpected traffic. How would you handle it? Perhaps you could plan to leave earlier or have the interviewer's contact information ready to notify them if delays occur. By brainstorming solutions in advance, you turn potential setbacks into manageable problems, reducing the stress of the unknown. Athletes often use similar techniques, mentally preparing for adverse conditions like bad weather or a tough opponent. This mental rehearsal allows them to remain focused and composed when challenges arise. Entrepreneurs, too, benefit greatly from this approach, often devising contingency plans for financial losses or market shifts. To start small, you could make this practice a part of your morning routine. Begin your day by imagining minor inconveniences you might face, like spilling coffee or missing a train. Visualize how you could calmly and effectively respond to these situations. This mental preparation strengthens your ability to maintain composure when such moments actually occur. The key is not to dwell on negativity, but to approach these scenarios as opportunities to build resilience and resourcefulness. Another actionable step is to keep a journal where you list potential challenges and outline your responses. Writing down these imagined scenarios along with practical solutions reinforces your confidence in facing them. Over time, this habit sharpens your problem-solving skills and reduces your tendency to react impulsively under pressure. Think of it as a form of mental training. Just as you exercise your body to stay strong, you can exercise your mind to prepare for life's uncertainties. Premeditatio Malorum is not about fearing the worst, but about ensuring that you are emotionally and mentally equipped to handle whatever comes your way. By practicing this regularly, you'll find yourself approaching challenges with a calm and grounded mindset, ready to adapt and respond effectively. And as an added benefit, this practice often highlights how many of your fears are exaggerated, helping you move through life with less anxiety and greater clarity. It's a simple yet transformative way to take control of your reactions and embrace life's unpredictability. Now turning to the art of enumeration, this principle is a powerful Stoic tactic for managing overwhelming tasks, emotions, or situations by breaking them down into smaller, more manageable parts. The idea is simple yet profound. When faced with complexity, instead of focusing on the enormity of the whole, you dissect it into its individual components. This approach not only provides clarity but also gives you a sense of control, transforming what initially feels insurmountable into a series of actionable steps. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, frequently referenced this method. For example, he would reflect on intricate matters by breaking them down into their essential elements, allowing him to see situations with greater objectivity and reason. Imagine you're tackling a big project at work. The thought of everything that needs to be done might feel paralyzing, but if you enumerate each step, conducting research, drafting an outline, preparing a presentation, it suddenly feels achievable. You focus on one step at a time, removing the weight of the entire task from your shoulders. This principle also applies to emotions. Instead of being overwhelmed by feelings of anxiety, you can break them down. What exactly is triggering this anxiety? Is it the fear of failure, a tight deadline, or uncertainty about the outcome? Once you identify the root causes, you can address them individually and rationally. A practical way to apply the art of enumeration in daily life is by creating lists. For instance, if you feel overwhelmed by household chores, write down each task that needs to be done: washing dishes, vacuuming, folding laundry. By focusing on one item at a time, you chip away at the list until it's completed. This not only makes the workload feel lighter, but also provides a sense of accomplishment with each completed step. Another exercise involves journaling your thoughts or emotions, breaking them into specific points. Doing so transforms vague feelings of unease into clear, understandable issues that you can work through logically. By practicing this regularly, you'll begin to notice a shift in how you approach challenges. What once seemed daunting will start to feel manageable, and your mind will grow more accustomed to finding order in chaos. The art of enumeration teaches us that no matter how complex a problem may seem, clarity often lies in simplicity. It's a skill that not only enhances productivity but also cultivates emotional resilience, empowering you to face life's complexities with calm and confidence. And as Marcus Aurelius demonstrated, breaking things down is a timeless method to gain perspective and master both the tasks and emotions that come your way. Moving forward, let's explore how this principle can be adapted specifically for emotional regulation. Now turning to breaking down emotional overload, let's see how the art of enumeration can specifically help in managing strong feelings like anger, sadness, or anxiety. When emotions feel overwhelming, it's often because they're tangled and unexamined, creating a sense of chaos in your mind. By breaking them down into smaller, digestible pieces, you can begin to understand and address them with calm and clarity. For instance, if you're feeling anxious, start by asking yourself what exactly is fueling that anxiety. Is it a fear of failure, an approaching deadline, or perhaps an unresolved conflict? Identifying these individual factors allows you to focus on each one separately rather than being swept away by the overall emotion. One useful strategy is to put pen to paper. Journaling your thoughts when emotions feel intense can have a powerful clarifying effect. Rather than writing in a free-flowing, unstructured way, try bullet-pointing your feelings. Write down what you're experiencing, the possible causes, and what steps you might take to address those causes. For example, if you feel angry after a difficult interaction with someone, list out what specifically triggered your anger. Was it a sense of unfairness, a misunderstanding, or the tone of their words? Once you've unpacked it, you may realize that not all aspects of the situation deserve the same emotional weight. Some might be worth addressing, while others might be better let go. Another approach is restructuring spiraling thoughts into clear, actionable reflections. When sadness or frustration starts to spiral, pause and separate the thoughts into manageable pieces. Instead of thinking, everything is going wrong, break it down to specifics. Is it that you're unhappy with your job, concerned about a relationship, or feeling tired and unmotivated? By pinpointing the actual issues, you shift your focus from feeling stuck to identifying areas where you can make changes or simply accept circumstances as they are. This shift in perspective has an immediate grounding effect, reminding you that not every problem must be solved at once. Over time, applying this principle trains your mind to naturally analyze emotions instead of being consumed by them. It fosters emotional awareness and equips you with the tools to respond thoughtfully rather than react impulsively. When feelings of anger, sadness, or anxiety arise, you'll find that breaking them down not only lessens their intensity but also reveals their underlying message. Each emotion carries information, and by dissecting it, you gain clarity and control. This practice doesn't minimize your emotions, it empowers you to understand and navigate them with greater ease. With consistency, the art of enumeration becomes a mental habit, turning even the most overwhelming emotional waves into manageable ripples. By cultivating this skill, you'll discover a steadiness in how you approach life's emotional ups and downs. And now, let's explore another cornerstone of Stoicism, the principle of self-sufficiency and how it can help us foster inner strength and independence. Now turning to the principle of self-sufficiency, let's unpack what the Stoics meant by this profound idea. At its core, self-sufficiency doesn't imply cutting yourself off from others or living in solitude. Instead, it's about cultivating a profound sense of contentment within yourself, a confidence that arises not from external circumstances but from your own inner strength. The Stoic teacher Epictetus often emphasized this, reminding us to focus on what is within our control and to release the need for external validation or approval. Think about how much of our daily energy goes into seeking recognition, whether through social media likes, workplace praise, or even acceptance from friends and family. While these things can feel rewarding in the moment, they're fleeting and fragile. Epictetus taught that true independence comes from recognizing that the only validation you truly need is your own. Instead of dwelling on how others might perceive you, turn your attention to your values, your actions, and your character. Are you living in alignment with the person you aspire to be? That's what truly matters. Practical steps to develop self-sufficiency can start small but have profound effects over time. For example, you might experiment with doing something meaningful without sharing it online or seeking acknowledgement for it. This could be as simple as learning a skill just for your own growth or performing a kind act without telling anyone about it. In the beginning, it may feel unusual, but as you strengthen this habit, you'll notice a growing sense of inner peace and confidence, unshaken by whether or not others notice your efforts. Another way to practice self-sufficiency is to reduce reliance on external factors for your happiness. Take a day to reflect on how much you depend on things like entertainment, material possessions, or even convenience to feel content. What would it look like to simplify just one area of your life? Perhaps it's preparing meals at home instead of relying on takeout, or spending a quiet evening with a book instead of scrolling endlessly. These small acts of independence provide a subtle yet powerful reminder that fulfillment is something you can cultivate on your own. Self-sufficiency also involves mastering your response to events outside your control. Imagine a situation where you face unexpected criticism. Instead of reacting defensively or letting it shake your confidence, pause and ask yourself, does this criticism reflect my values, or is it simply someone else's perspective? By anchoring yourself in what truly matters to you, you remain steady regardless of the opinions swirling around you. Ultimately, self-sufficiency isn't about rejecting others. It's about building an unshakable foundation within yourself. It's recognizing that while relationships, community, and shared experiences are valuable, they shouldn't define your sense of worth. By practicing this principle, you empower yourself to navigate life with greater independence and resilience. And as this inner strength grows, you'll find that it enhances your relationships rather than detracts from them, because you'll no longer approach others from a place of need but from a place of genuine connection. By embracing self-sufficiency, we unlock a new level of confidence and autonomy, enabling us to navigate life's complexities with grace and steadiness. As we move forward, let's delve into another transformative Stoic principle, the dichotomy of control, and how it can further guide us in finding peace amidst life's unpredictability. Building on the concept of self-sufficiency, let's explore how to balance independence with fostering healthy relationships. It's important to recognize that being self-sufficient doesn't mean isolating yourself or rejecting connection. It means approaching relationships from a place of wholeness rather than dependency. When we rely too heavily on others for our sense of worth or fulfillment, we unintentionally place a burden on those connections. However, when we cultivate inner resilience, we create space for stronger, more authentic bonds because we're no longer seeking people to complete us but to complement us. In today's world, one of the greatest threats to self-sufficiency is the pervasive influence of technology and social media. Think about how often we turn to our devices for distraction, validation, or even a sense of connection. While these tools have their benefits, they can also weaken our ability to stand on our own if we're not mindful. For instance, constantly comparing ourselves to curated glimpses of others' lives can create a cycle of insecurity, pulling us further away from our own inner foundation. To counteract this, consider limiting your screen time in intentional ways. Start with small, achievable changes, perhaps setting aside 1 hour each evening to disconnect from your devices. Use this time to focus on activities that nurture your independence, such as journaling, meditating, or simply reflecting on the day's events. These moments of stillness allow you to reconnect with your inner self without external noise. Another practical approach involves building habits that reinforce resilience. For example, at the end of each day, spend a few minutes reflecting on any instances where you relied too much on external factors for your happiness or validation. Did your mood shift based on the number of likes a post received, or did you feel the need to share a success for it to feel meaningful? By identifying these moments, you can begin to reframe your mindset and shift toward deriving satisfaction from within. Balancing independence with healthy relationships also requires setting boundaries that protect your energy and priorities. This doesn't mean shutting people out, but rather ensuring that you have the time and space to cultivate your own growth. For instance, if you find yourself overcommitting to social obligations, practice saying no when your schedule feels too full. Use that time to work on personal goals or engage in activities that replenish your sense of self. In turn, you'll show up more fully and authentically for the people in your life. Ultimately, self-sufficiency isn't about withdrawing from the world, but about creating a stronger foundation so that you can engage with it more effectively. By limiting the influence of external factors like technology and nurturing habits that strengthen your inner resilience, you empower yourself to build connections that are rooted in mutual respect and sincerity. These practices not only enrich your personal growth, but also the relationships you hold dear. Now, as we continue our exploration of Stoic wisdom, let's turn to a principle that has the power to transform how we view life's challenges: the dichotomy of control. This idea offers profound clarity in times of uncertainty, helping us focus our energy where it truly matters. Now turning to the dichotomy of control, this foundational Stoic principle draws a clear line between what is within our power and what lies beyond it. At its core, it reminds us that while we cannot dictate external events, we can always choose how we respond to them. This distinction is not just a philosophical idea, it's a practical tool for reducing unnecessary stress and frustration in our daily lives. Picture this: you're at the airport and your flight gets delayed. You have no control over the weather or the airline's logistics, but what you can control is your mindset. Instead of spiraling into anger or impatience, you could use this unexpected time to read, reflect, or even connect with fellow travelers. By consciously focusing on what you can influence, you reclaim your peace of mind and avoid expending energy on factors outside your reach. The beauty of this principle lies in its simplicity. When we internalize the dichotomy of control, we stop fighting battles we cannot win. It becomes easier to accept setbacks without feeling defeated, because we recognize the difference between obstacles we can overcome and those we must adapt to. Consider another example. Imagine being stuck in a traffic jam. You cannot clear the road or make the cars move faster, but you can control your reaction. Instead of letting frustration take over, you might use the time to listen to an uplifting podcast or practice gratitude for having a car in the first place. These small shifts in focus can transform potentially stressful moments into opportunities for growth. The dichotomy of control also encourages us to approach challenges with greater equanimity. When we focus on what we can control, such as our actions, choices, and attitudes, we become more grounded and less reactive. This clarity empowers us to make better decisions even in the face of uncertainty. For instance, if you're preparing for a big presentation, worrying about how others will perceive you is beyond your control. But what is within your power is how well you prepare, how clearly you communicate your message, and how you choose to handle any feedback. By channeling your energy into these controllable factors, you enhance your confidence and reduce unnecessary anxiety. This principle is not about indifference to outcomes, it's about prioritizing your energy and attention where they truly count. When you let go of the need to control the uncontrollable, you free yourself to focus fully on the aspects of life that are within your sphere of influence. It's a liberating mindset that not only lightens the emotional load, but also helps you navigate life's complexities with greater ease. With the dichotomy of control as your guide, you can face life's challenges with clarity and composure, no matter how unpredictable they may be. As we move forward, let's explore how to apply this principle in today's fast-paced, complex world, where distinguishing what we can control often feels more challenging than ever. Now turning to how the dichotomy of control applies to today's complex world, the principle remains as relevant as ever, though its practice might require some adaptation. In an age where we're constantly bombarded with misinformation, endless news cycles, and global crises, it's easy to feel overwhelmed and powerless. This is exactly where the dichotomy of control becomes an anchor. By making a conscious effort to separate what we can control from what we cannot, we reclaim a sense of clarity amidst the chaos. For example, when faced with alarming news about economic downturns or political instability, recognize that you cannot single-handedly solve these issues. What you can control, however, is how you prepare, whether it's saving more, learning new skills, or voting thoughtfully based on your values. A practical way to embody this principle is by using a two-column exercise. On one side, list the factors directly within your control, like your habits, decisions, and reactions. On the other, write down the elements outside your control, such as other people's opinions or unpredictable events. This simple activity provides a clear visual of where to focus your energy and where to let go. For instance, if you're dealing with workplace politics, you may not control how others behave, but you can control your professionalism, how you communicate, and whether you choose to engage with negativity or rise above it. Emotionally detaching from what lies beyond your influence is another key aspect of mastering this principle. It doesn't mean ignoring the world's problems or becoming indifferent. It means choosing peace over unnecessary anguish. Take misinformation as an example. While you cannot control every false narrative out there, you can control how you respond by fact-checking, consuming reliable information, and avoiding impulsive reactions. This approach not only protects your mental clarity, but also empowers you to contribute meaningfully where it truly counts. By consistently practicing this mindset, you can approach life's uncertainties with greater confidence and stability. The dichotomy of control serves as a powerful compass in navigating the complexities of modern living, helping us focus on what truly matters without being weighed down by what doesn't. Moving forward, let's explore another Stoic principle that builds resilience in the face of adversity. Now turning to the principle of voluntary discomfort, we find a practice that may seem counterintuitive at first, but is profoundly valuable in building both mental and physical resilience. At its core, voluntary discomfort is the act of deliberately exposing oneself to small, manageable challenges in order to prepare for life's inevitable hardships. The Stoics believed that by doing this, one could develop a sense of strength and gratitude that serves as a foundation for enduring greater adversities. Seneca, one of the great Stoic thinkers, often spoke of practicing poverty not out of necessity, but as a way of training the mind and body. He advised eating simple meals, wearing plain clothing, and living as though you had less than you actually did. This exercise wasn't about depriving oneself for the sake of suffering, but about becoming familiar with discomfort so that, if true hardship ever arose, it would not break you. The psychological benefits of this principle are significant. When you voluntarily step into uncomfortable situations, you condition yourself to handle stress and uncertainty with greater ease. It also recalibrates your sense of gratitude. For instance, after a week of eating nothing but plain rice and beans, that first bite of a favorite meal feels extraordinary. Similarly, choosing to walk instead of driving for a few days reminds you to appreciate the convenience of modern transportation. These small acts of discomfort make everyday comforts feel less taken for granted, bringing new awareness to the blessings in your life. In our modern world, where conveniences are abundant and hardships are often avoided at all costs, practicing voluntary discomfort can be a powerful tool for personal growth. Imagine starting your day with something as simple as a cold shower or foregoing your morning coffee. These minor challenges might seem trivial, but they teach you to endure discomfort without complaint. Over time, such practices build a resilience that extends far beyond the specific activity. The next time you face an unexpected difficulty, say a flat tire or a missed deadline, you're more likely to approach it with a composed and steady mindset. By embracing voluntary discomfort, you not only prepare yourself for life's inevitable challenges, but also cultivate a deeper sense of inner strength and gratitude. This principle reminds us that true resilience comes not from avoiding discomfort, but from meeting it head-on in a controlled, intentional way. As we continue, let's explore how this concept of resilience intertwines with other Stoic practices to enhance our sense of purpose and self-mastery. Moving forward, let's delve into modern practices of voluntary discomfort and how they can fit seamlessly into your daily life. One of the simplest ways to practice this principle is by taking cold showers. While the initial shock of cold water may feel unpleasant, it trains your body to adapt to discomfort and strengthens your mental fortitude. Start small, perhaps with just a few seconds of cold water at the end of your shower, and gradually increase the duration as you become more accustomed to the sensation. Over time, you'll notice that what once felt unbearable becomes manageable, even refreshing. Another effective example is intermittent fasting. By intentionally delaying meals or skipping one, you not only practice self-discipline, but also gain a greater appreciation for the food you consume. This practice can highlight how much of our eating is driven by habit or emotions rather than true hunger. To start, try fasting for 12 hours overnight, then gradually extend the period as your comfort level grows. This not only builds resilience but also fosters mindfulness around your relationship with food. Minimalist living is yet another way to incorporate voluntary discomfort into your routine. Consider decluttering your space and putting away non-essential items for a week or two. Live with only the basics, wear fewer outfits, use fewer gadgets, and limit your entertainment options. This temporary simplicity can teach you to find joy in less and diminish your reliance on external luxuries for happiness. When you reintroduce these items, you may find they no longer hold the same importance, and you'll better appreciate the essentials of your life. For those looking to push their limits further, outdoor activities like hiking in challenging conditions or camping without all the modern comforts can offer a rewarding way to embrace discomfort. Spending time in nature without relying on technology or conveniences not only builds resilience but also deepens your connection to the natural world. Each small act of voluntary discomfort, whether it's walking instead of driving or wearing lighter clothing on a chilly day, helps you develop a mindset of adaptability and gratitude. To incorporate these practices into your life, begin by choosing one small, manageable challenge. Write down the discomfort you plan to embrace while you're doing it and how you'll gradually increase its intensity over time. Reflect on the experience afterward. How did it feel, and what did you learn about yourself? By approaching voluntary discomfort with intention and consistency, you'll build a foundation of inner strength and reduce your dependence on external comforts. As you experiment with these practices, you'll notice a shift in how you perceive challenges. The things that used to stress you might no longer feel as daunting, and the comforts you once overlooked will bring a renewed sense of gratitude. With this powerful tool in mind, let's now transition to a related Stoic discipline that sharpens our ability to evaluate and respond to the impressions we encounter each day. Now turning to the discipline of assent, this Stoic principle invites us to carefully evaluate and judge the impressions we receive before reacting to them. At its core, it's about creating a pause, a moment of reflection that separates perception from action. The Stoics understood that not every impression or thought deserves our immediate trust. Epictetus, one of the most influential Stoic philosophers, often emphasized the importance of scrutinizing whether our judgments are rooted in rationality or driven by fleeting emotions. Imagine, for instance, receiving a critical comment at work. Your immediate impression might lead to defensiveness, frustration, or even anger. The discipline of assent encourages you to step back and question the validity of this reaction. Is the criticism truly an attack, or is it an opportunity to grow? By pausing and analyzing the situation, you can respond thoughtfully rather than allowing your emotions to dictate your actions. In today's world, this principle is especially relevant in the context of online communication. Social media, with its fast-paced and reactive environment, often tempts us to respond impulsively to negativity or disagreements. The next time you come across a contentious post or comment, try exercising the discipline of assent. Before typing a reply, ask yourself, am I bringing clarity and reason to this conversation, or am I simply reacting with emotion? More often than not, you'll find that a delayed, measured response, or none at all, serves you far better than one fueled by impulse. The Stoics believed that mastering this principle leads to better decision-making and inner peace. It's about taking control of your mental filters and asking, is this impression true? Is it helpful? Does it align with my values? Developing this habit may not come overnight, but with consistent practice, you'll find yourself less shaken by external events and more aligned with reason and purpose. To apply this in your daily life, start small. The next time you feel a surge of emotion, whether it's excitement, anger, or fear, pause and breathe. Reflect on the root cause of that emotion and assess whether it deserves your attention. By practicing this simple pause consistently, you'll start building a mental habit that strengthens your ability to evaluate impressions and respond with clarity. This principle is not about suppressing emotions or denying your humanity, but rather about creating space for wisdom to guide your choices. As the next step in our journey, we'll explore a Stoic concept that deepens our understanding of our place in the world and the harmony we can achieve by aligning our actions with it. Now turning to the practical side of mastering the discipline of assent, let's focus on specific techniques that can help you build this invaluable skill in your daily life. One of the simplest yet most effective methods is the art of pausing. Imagine you are in a heated conversation. Before blurting out a reactive comment, take a moment to pause. This brief mental break allows you to separate your initial emotional surge from your thoughtful response. Even a few seconds of reflection can make a significant difference in how you handle the situation, transforming a possible escalation into a calm and reasoned exchange. Another powerful practice is mindfulness. By observing your thoughts as they arise without immediately judging or reacting to them, you create a space to evaluate their validity and importance. Think of this as a mental filter for your impressions. For example, if you notice a wave of anxiety about an upcoming presentation, instead of letting it spiral, pause and analyze. Ask yourself, what is the root of this feeling? Is it fear of failure or a chance to improve? By reframing your thoughts, you can often turn a negative impression into a constructive perspective. To deepen this practice, try challenging cognitive distortions. These are automatic thoughts that might exaggerate problems or distort reality. For instance, if you catch yourself thinking, "This always happens to me," after a setback, pause and question that narrative. Is it really always, or is it just this one instance? Challenging these distortions helps you see situations more clearly and prevents emotional overreactions. Journaling can also be a powerful tool to practice the discipline of assent. At the end of each day, write down moments when your emotions felt overwhelming or led to impulsive reactions. Analyze those situations. What were the impressions that triggered your response? How could you have paused and evaluated them differently? Over time, this reflective exercise helps you recognize patterns in your thinking and equips you to respond with more clarity and control in the future. The benefits of consistently applying this principle extend far beyond personal growth. In professional settings, mastering the discipline of assent can improve decision-making, enhance your ability to resolve conflicts, and even boost your reputation as someone who is measured and thoughtful under pressure. Similarly, in personal relationships, this practice fosters better communication and deeper understanding. as you learn to respond to others with more empathy and rationality rather than being driven by fleeting emotions. Remember, the discipline of assent is not about perfection but progress. Each time you pause before reacting, challenge a distorted impression, or reframe a negative thought, you are strengthening this mental habit. Over time, these small steps accumulate into profound changes, allowing you to navigate life with greater calm, clarity, and purpose. As we continue, we'll unfold a Stoic concept that invites us to reflect on our connection to the world and how aligning with this perspective can transform the way we approach life. As the next phase of the journey into Stoicism unfolds, let us explore the profound concept of oikeiosis. This lesser-known principle invites us to reflect on our unique role within the vast interconnectedness of the cosmos. At its core, oikeiosis is about finding our proper place in the world by aligning our actions with the greater whole and living in harmony with nature itself. The Stoics believed that understanding this connection not only fosters a sense of purpose, but also brings about an unparalleled tranquility to our lives. Imagine life as a grand symphony where each individual plays their own instrument. Some contribute melodies that stand out, while others provide the harmony that ties everything together. Oikeiosis teaches us to recognize our instrument, our role, and to play it in tune with the greater composition of life. This idea is not about superiority or inferiority, but about fulfilling a role that naturally fits within the broader design of existence. In the Stoic texts, this principle is often linked to the idea of living according to nature. But what does that mean? It goes beyond simply respecting the natural world. It is about living in accordance with reason, virtue, and the shared goals of humanity. When we act with the awareness that we are part of something greater, we cultivate harmony not only within ourselves but also with others. For instance, by contributing positively to your community or workplace, no matter how small the gesture, you align your personal actions with the collective good. Marcus Aurelius often reflected on this, reminding himself and others that we are all threads in the fabric of the universe. He wrote about how understanding this interconnectedness can ease our frustrations and uncertainties, as it provides a clear sense of direction in life. When you feel overwhelmed or lost, remembering that your actions contribute to a greater whole can offer clarity and reassurance. It helps shift the focus from self-centered worries to a more expansive and meaningful perspective. To apply oikeiosis in daily life, start by observing where your efforts align with the needs of others. Consider how your actions, even the seemingly insignificant ones, ripple outward and impact the people around you. Whether it is mentoring a colleague, supporting a friend, or simply acting with kindness towards a stranger, these moments of alignment create harmony both within and beyond yourself. This principle also encourages us to evaluate our choices and ask, how does this contribute to the greater good? By grounding our actions in this reflection, we move closer to living a life of purpose and balance. For example, a decision in your career becomes more than just about personal advancement. It can transform into a stepping stone toward contributing something valuable to the world. In embracing oikeiosis, you'll likely notice a growing sense of inner peace. This stems from understanding that your role, however small or large, is meaningful in the context of the larger whole. It is this perspective that allows us to let go of unnecessary competition or envy and instead focus on what truly matters: collaboration, contribution, and alignment with the natural flow of life. As we continue on this Stoic journey, we will discover how reflecting on aspirational ideals and meditating on the qualities of wise individuals can further guide us toward a life of reason and virtue. Now turning to the enlightening principle of meditating on the sage, we encounter a practice that offers profound guidance for living a life rooted in wisdom and virtue. The concept encourages us to reflect on an aspirational ideal, the Stoic sage. This sage represents the epitome of rationality, courage, kindness, and integrity, serving as a guiding star to illuminate our own journey toward personal growth and ethical living. In the ancient world, figures like Cotto were revered as examples of steadfast virtue. Cotto, renowned for his unwavering commitment to justice and his resistance to corruption, became a touchstone for what it meant to live a principled life. By contemplating such individuals, the Stoics believed that we could better navigate the complexities of life. The exercise is not about idolizing perfection, but about drawing inspiration that anchors our choices in reason and moral clarity. To bring this practice into your daily life, begin by identifying a figure who embodies the traits you aspire to cultivate. This could be a historical Stoic like Marcus Aurelius, a modern role model who inspires you, or even a composite image of the qualities you value most. Spend a few moments each day visualizing this sage figure. Picture their demeanor, consider how they might react in difficult situations, and reflect on how their virtues align with your own challenges. For example, imagine facing a stressful conflict at work. By meditating on the sage, you might envision how someone like Marcus Aurelius would handle the situation with calm, fairness, and measured action. This mental exercise provides an anchor, helping you act with composure and integrity rather than impulsivity or frustration. You can also turn this principle into a reflective journaling practice by asking, "What would my sage do in this situation?" Write down the steps they might take and use this as a guide to shape your actions. Over time, you will find that consciously meditating on these qualities starts to influence your own behavior, helping you embody the virtues you admire. Incorporating this principle is not about achieving perfection. The goal is progression. By meditating on the sage, you create a mental framework for growth, aligning daily decisions with a higher standard of virtue and reason. This practice nudges you toward becoming the best version of yourself, one thoughtful choice at a time. As the next chapter of Stoicism unfolds, we will delve into the power of words and the importance of mindful speech, discovering how our communication can foster deeper connections and fewer conflicts. Now turning to the principle of mindful speech, we explore a cornerstone of Stoic philosophy that emphasizes the power and responsibility of our words. The Stoics believed that speech should be intentional, meaningful, and aligned with virtue, a practice that holds immense relevance in today's age of constant communication. They cautioned against gossip, impulsive remarks, or harmful speech, urging instead for words to serve a higher purpose, one of truth, understanding, and connection. In interpersonal relationships, this principle can be transformative. Imagine a heated argument with a friend or colleague. In such moments, it is easy to let emotions take over, leading to words that may harm more than heal. Mindful speech invites us to pause, reflect, and choose words that foster resolution rather than conflict. By adhering to this principle, we not only de-escalate tension, but also cultivate relationships rooted in respect and authenticity. The application extends to workplace dynamics as well. Consider the impact of avoiding unnecessary chatter or criticism in professional settings. Instead of engaging in office gossip or venting frustrations unproductively, mindful speech calls us to focus on constructive communication. This can include sharing clear feedback, offering encouragement, or presenting ideas thoughtfully during meetings. Such practices not only elevate the quality of interactions, but also enhance trust and collaboration within teams. A practical way to implement this principle is to pause briefly before speaking, especially in emotionally charged situations. Ask yourself, is what I am about to say true? Is it necessary? Is it kind? These simple questions act as filters, ensuring that your words add value rather than creating discord. Over time, this habit develops into a natural part of your communication style, allowing you to express yourself with clarity and purpose. Another helpful exercise is practicing active listening. By fully focusing on what others are saying and responding with intent, you demonstrate that their words matter. This not only strengthens your connections, but also helps you avoid reactive or thoughtless replies. Writing down reflections at the end of each day about how your words impacted others can further enhance your awareness and growth in this area. Mindful speech ultimately empowers us to strengthen our relationships and lead a more harmonious life. It is not about striving for perfection in every conversation, but rather about making intentional choices that elevate our interactions. By embracing this practice, we unlock the potential of our words to build bridges, nurture understanding, and reflect the virtues we aspire to live by. As we continue this journey into the depths of Stoic wisdom, the focus shifts to another core principle, the mastery of desire. Together, we will uncover how moderating our cravings allows us to prioritize what truly matters, bringing us closer to inner peace and fulfillment. Now turning to the mastery of desire, we delve into a profound Stoic teaching that emphasizes the importance of reining in excessive cravings to achieve inner peace. The Stoics understood that unchecked desires often lead to distraction, dissatisfaction, and even a sense of dependency on external circumstances. They encourage the moderation of desires not as a form of deprivation, but as a pathway to focusing on what truly matters: virtue, purpose, and the cultivation of a tranquil mind. Imagine for a moment the endless pursuit of material possessions or fleeting pleasures. While they may provide temporary satisfaction, they often leave us yearning for more, perpetuating a cycle of want and restlessness. The mastery of desire teaches us to step back and question the real value of these pursuits. By doing so, we begin to discern between what is essential for our well-being and what is simply noise distracting us from living a purposeful life. One powerful way to apply this principle is through the practice of identifying unnecessary cravings. Start by writing down the things you feel you cannot do without, whether it is the latest gadget, a luxurious lifestyle, or even constant social validation. Then reflect on whether these things genuinely align with your values or merely serve as temporary distractions. By consciously acknowledging and questioning these cravings, you can begin to loosen their grip on your life. Another practical approach is to embrace gratitude for what you already have. Take a few moments each day to reflect on the abundance in your life, whether it is the roof over your head, the relationships you cherish, or the skills and abilities you have cultivated. Gratitude shifts the focus from what is lacking to what is present, dissolving much of the unease driven by desire. Over time, this practice fosters contentment and reduces the impulse to chase after unnecessary pleasures. The freedom that arises from mastering desire is unparalleled. When you are no longer controlled by every passing whim or craving, you regain the mental space to prioritize what truly brings fulfillment. Decisions become clearer, relationships deepen, and you find a sense of stability even in a chaotic world. The Stoics saw this freedom not as a restriction but as the ultimate liberation, allowing individuals to live in alignment with their values and embrace a life of greater purpose. As we explore the next principle, negative visualization, we will uncover how imagining the loss of what we hold dear can paradoxically lead to deeper appreciation and resilience. This practice, though counterintuitive, offers profound psychological benefits that enrich our understanding of life's blessings and prepare us to face adversity with courage. Now turning to the practice of negative visualization, we delve into one of the most striking and counterintuitive principles of Stoicism. At first glance, imagining loss or the worst-case scenarios may seem like a pessimistic way to approach life, but the Stoics saw it as a tool to unlock deeper gratitude and mental preparedness. By contemplating the impermanence of the things we hold dear, our health, loved ones, possessions, or even our own life, we gain a renewed appreciation for them in the present moment. This practice is not about dwelling on despair. Rather, it is about fostering a mindset of awareness and resilience. Consider how often we take everyday blessings for granted. We assume the presence of loved ones, the stability of our career, or even the reliability of our own body as constants. But what if we pause to reflect on the possibility that these might not always be there? This realization, far from inducing fear, sharpens our focus on what truly matters and deepens our gratitude for what we currently have. It shifts our perspective from entitlement to appreciation. A simple way to practice negative visualization is to set aside a moment each day to reflect on something important in your life as if it were no longer present. For instance, think of a cherished relationship and imagine how your life might change without that person's support. Rather than feeling sorrowful, use this mental exercise to value their presence more profoundly and to strengthen your bond with them. Similarly, when it comes to health, consider the small daily actions like movement or breath that we often overlook and recognize the gift they truly are. Negative visualization can also be a powerful aid in personal and professional settings. For example, before an important meeting or decision, envision potential obstacles or setbacks. By mentally rehearsing these outcomes, you can prepare solutions in advance, reducing the fear of failure and empowering yourself to act with confidence. In relationships, reflecting on how conflicts or misunderstandings could escalate can motivate us to approach interactions with greater empathy and patience. The Stoics believed that by regularly engaging in this practice, we not only become better equipped to handle life's inevitable challenges, but also cultivate an unparalleled appreciation for the present. The ability to approach each day with gratitude and clarity transforms how we experience even the simplest moments, making life feel richer and more fulfilling. As we turn our attention to the next principle, engaging with mortality, we will discover how reflecting on our own finite existence can lead to a life of greater purpose and intentionality. Now turning to the idea of engaging with mortality, we arrive at a principle that is both sobering and profoundly liberating. The Stoics frequently reminded themselves of memento mori, remember, you will die not as a source of fear, but as a call to live with purpose and intention. By reflecting on the finite nature of our existence, we gain clarity about what truly matters and shed distractions that hold us back from leading meaningful lives. To the Stoics, mortality was not a taboo. It was a compass guiding them toward virtue and fulfillment. Consider how often we procrastinate or preoccupy ourselves with trivial matters, assuming there will always be more time. The Stoics believed this mindset was a trap. Seneca, in particular, urged individuals to stop postponing life, reminding us that while we may plan for the future, today slips away unnoticed. By facing the reality of our limited days, we become motivated to align our actions with our deeper values and pursue what genuinely enriches our lives, rather than chasing fleeting pleasures or external validation. One practical way to engage with mortality is to reflect on your legacy. Ask yourself, what do you want to leave behind for others? This isn't about fame or wealth, but the impact of your choices and character. How do your daily actions contribute to the kind of person you aspire to be remembered as? Writing down your life priorities can serve as a powerful exercise in self-discovery and direction. This practice helps filter out distractions and encourages you to focus your energy on what will matter in the long run. Another Stoic practice is to periodically take a moment to imagine your life from the perspective of its end. Picture yourself at the end of your days, looking back. What regrets might you have? What moments would you wish you had cherished more? This mental exercise is not meant to dwell on sorrow, but to act as a gentle reminder to seize the opportunities you have now with gratitude and courage. The aim is to transform the inevitability of death into a motivator for living fully, not an anchor of dread. The Stoic writings from Marcus Aurelius, reflecting on the transient nature of existence in his meditations, to Epictetus, emphasizing the importance of preparing for life's end with grace, show that this principle was central to their philosophy. They understood that when we accept the impermanence of life, we not only let go of fears, but also learn to approach each moment with a renewed sense of presence and purpose. As we move to the next principle, living in accordance with nature, we will uncover how aligning ourselves with the rhythms of the universe can bring balance and fulfillment to our lives. As the next phase of the journey comes into view, we arrive at the principle of living in accordance with nature, an overarching tenet that ties together the essence of Stoic philosophy. To the Stoics, living in harmony with nature transcended mere environmental awareness. It spoke to aligning one's actions and decisions with reason, virtue, and the natural order of the universe. This principle serves as a reminder that we are not isolated beings but integral parts of a larger, interconnected whole. By understanding our place within this vast system, we can navigate life with a sense of balance and clarity. Living in accordance with nature begins with self-awareness, recognizing the unique role we each play and the rational capacities that distinguish us. The Stoics believed that by using reason as our guide, we could act in ways that reflect our higher nature, rather than succumbing to impulsive desires or external pressures. This means striving to live virtuously, cultivating qualities like wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. These virtues, when consistently practiced, allow us to rise above chaos and align our lives with what truly matters. Equally important is the idea of embracing the natural rhythms of life, including its inevitable ebbs and flows. The Stoics taught that resisting the natural course of events only leads to frustration and discontent. Instead, they encouraged acceptance of change, of challenges, of loss. This does not mean passive resignation, but rather an active choice to work with life's circumstances rather than against them. By doing so, we unlock a deep sense of peace and resilience, knowing we are in harmony with the greater order. Imagine, for instance, the serenity of a river flowing effortlessly around obstacles in its path. The river doesn't resist the rocks, it adapts, finding its way forward. Similarly, by living in accordance with nature, we learn to flow through life's difficulties with grace and purpose. This perspective encourages us to focus on what we can influence and to release our attachment to outcomes beyond our control, echoing the Stoic principle of the dichotomy of control. A practical step toward embodying this principle is to cultivate mindfulness in daily life. Take time to observe the natural world, the rising sun, the changing seasons, the growth of a tree. These moments of reflection can remind us of the simplicity and wisdom inherent in nature's processes. They invite us to simplify our own lives, to strip away unnecessary complications, and to ground ourselves in what is essential. When we act with intention and align our choices with reason and virtue, we not only live more authentically but also contribute positively to the world around us. Ultimately, living in accordance with nature is about finding harmony within ourselves and with the external world. It offers a path to a balanced and fulfilling life, where we embrace our role as rational, interconnected beings navigating a universe of complexity and beauty. And as we conclude these 15 hidden Stoic principles, we carry forward the timeless wisdom they offer, not to merely admire from a distance, but to integrate into the fabric of our daily existence. As we bring this journey to a close, let us take a moment to reflect on the 15 hidden Stoic principles we've explored together. From embracing the love of fate and practicing the premeditation of evils, to cultivating mindfulness in speech and living in harmony with nature, each principle offers a timeless blueprint for navigating the complexities of modern life with resilience, clarity, and purpose. These ideas are not just philosophical musings, they are practical tools designed to help us lead lives of greater meaning and balance. What stands out most to you? Perhaps it is the wisdom of the dichotomy of control, the courage in voluntary discomfort, or the empathy found in Sympatheia. Whichever principle resonates with you, take it as an invitation to integrate Stoic wisdom into your everyday life. Start small, whether it's pausing before reacting to a challenge, visualizing gratitude through negative visualization, or identifying moments where you can choose virtue over impulse. Over time, these small acts of alignment can create profound transformations in how you think, act, and relate to the world around you. Stoicism reminds us that we have the power to shape our lives through the choices we make and the perspective we adopt. It is not about perfection, but about progress, about striving as best we can to live in accordance with reason, virtue, and the natural order. As you move forward, let these principles be a guide, offering both comfort and strength as you face life's uncertainties and opportunities. Which of these principles do you feel most drawn to, and how might you begin applying it in your own life? Share your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. We'd love to hear from you. And if you found value in this exploration of Stoic wisdom, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you never miss an opportunity to build a life of purpose and meaning. Thank you for joining us on this journey, and we'll see you in the next video.